Hey, what's going on, everybody? Who be 186 back again with another video. I don't do this often. At least not as much as I used to. But I don't really talk about like sports on my like regular sports, like my local teams, like the Dolphins, Marlins, and shit like that. I haven't done that in a long time. But this topic pissed me off to the point where I feel like I need to talk about it and I need to vent about it. And it really shouldn't be a big deal, at least for me personally. Hold on a second. Let me adjust my car seat here. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah. So it really shouldn't affect me because I like a lot. All right. So just to get to the main point, this topic is about Paul Finebum, right? Anybody who don't know who he is, because I do run mostly a gaming channel. Paul Finebum is a well-renowned, probably the biggest college football pundit or expert, if you might say, as you would probably say, out there. You know what I mean? He works for ESPN. He specializes in the SEC. What does SEC stand for? Whatever. So, whatever. Regardless, well, SEC, the SEC network, right? Which arguably is the top. SEC is the top division or league, if you might say, of college football, right? It has, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, all those universities are in the SEC, right? And he's kind of like the expert in that conference. And he does talk about college football, right? He does talk about other aspects of college football. And he does talk about, he talks about, all other teams and stuff like that. So but he specializes in SEC, right? And, just like, some of the Skip Baylesses of the world, Jason Whitlock, guys like that, they like to say controversial shit, right? They like to rile up certain fan bases, right? With Skip Baylesses, like the LeBron stands, the Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Leonard stands and shit like that. Jason Whitlock he's just an overall, a piece of garbage in my opinion. But it is what it is. But he feeds off of negativity, right? And Paul Finebum, his shtick is going after certain fan bases. I know he has a thing with the Big Ten. I don't know what the hell's going on there. I think he has some type of beef with fans of the Big Ten. I believe Michigan's in that conference, stuff like that. And also he has a thing for Miami, the University of Miami, right? He doesn't like the university. He doesn't like the people. So a couple days ago, a caller called in, and his callers are literally, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Phil Henry show. His callers could be confused with that show, right? And that show's like a parody. But, obviously, his callers are all SEC people, so they're in the South. So you have a lot of people who, I think the person who called is from Virginia, but, regardless. He got a caller who mentioned this incident that supposedly happened at the Florida game that happened this past Saturday. And he, caller mentioned that now the original report was that a two UM fans, like a lady and a gentleman, more so the gentleman, incited a brawl with the UF band director, right? There was a report about it, all that stuff, right? Now, the situation is very murky because there really isn't a lot of information outside of the initial report. There was no charges filed. We don't know truly what happened because there really is no real eyewitness there really isn't any real eyewitness to the story. You figure that a band director, directing a bunch of people and a big ass band would have more descriptive details about what happened, but that's not really the case. We don't really know what happened. So the caller brings it up, and Paul hears it, and he says, and I'm pretty much paraphrasing here, like, it's not really that surprising coming from Miami. They're a third world program, right? That's what he said. And to me, and listen, I get it. Like, anytime anyone mentions third world, there's a lot of very racial connotation to it. Like, I don't want to hear like, oh, you can't just assume this, can't just, no, don't be fucking stupid. Whenever you mention third world, and unfortunately, with this being the case, a lot of third world countries are predominantly either Latino, black, or other. Normally, I don't think there's really is a such thing as a third world country full of white people, unless you're talking about like war-torn areas, like that. But other than that, when someone says, especially in Miami, which is, you've got to be shitting me. Come on, stop it, you fucking idiots. Fuck. Anyways, when you mention, especially down here in Miami, which is a very multicultural, city and area in general, right? Where you have a lot of transports from Cuba, Haiti, Dominican, Puerto Rico, which, technically Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, but regardless, you get what I'm saying, right? For a middle-aged, balding white guy to say it, it definitely comes off looking terrible, especially in 2019, right? So, to me, I obviously, I know Paul shtick, or whatever, right? And I knew that this was gonna be something that he was gonna have to apologize for, and he did the following day. He did yesterday. He apologized for it. And Mike Ryan, who's part of the Levitard Show, who I like a lot, I'm a big fan of Mike Ryan, right? He said that he accepts the apology. And I'm gonna say this right here, that Paul Finebum can go fuck himself. He can kick the sharpest of rocks. He can go fuck himself. Fuck that dude. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's one thing you want to call it, and his thing is that he hates Miami, right? He hates the University of Miami for what they supposedly stand for. He doesn't like the quote cheating organization that he believes the University of Miami is. Whatever, right? And he's not the only one that feels that way. Whatever, right? But here's the thing that pisses me off most about his comment. He took a situation which is murky to begin with. No one truly knows what happened with this case with the UF band director. It's not clear. And let me also say this unequivocally, that if it was a UN fan, or anybody for that matter, if he was truly attacked, then that fucking dude or chick or whatever can go straight to hell. They can go fuck themselves, right? They don't represent the Miami. They don't represent the university. They don't represent the city. Period. Those are lowlives, right? Unfortunately, there was a UN fan who threatened a fellow radio personality down here who works down here, but she's a Gators fan, and he pretty much threatened the baby, her newborn baby, saying that he pretty much said that he hoped that she died because she's a Gators fan and he's a UN fan, and so many UN fans went to the comments to the tweet, pretty much trashed the dude. The dude ended up being a lawyer. Like, this fucking idiot ended up being a lawyer I think he's in Georgia, and the radio host, who happens to be also a lawyer, they're in the same they're both licensed in Georgia. So it's like, I mean, it's so stupid. Like, sometimes fandom can go crazy. But regardless, the main point is that bad behavior is not from one group of people. It's not it's not reflective of the university or the people at all, right? And she said as much. So big prop. Her name's Amber Wilson. Big props. I'm a big fan of hers, right? So my problem with Paul Finebum's statement is that he took a situation. He took a story that that is very sketchy to begin with, and just used it to not only trash the university, but to trash the people in it with no fucking real proof or anything. And as if that situation is indicative of the university and its people. A university that has one of the top medical programs in the country, has one of the top, has one of the top, I guess for lawyers is one of the top programs in the country for that too. And it's also a program that has produced not only great athletes, but great athletes who turn around and help the community, who help bring positive change to this community. And this fucking loser decides that I'm going to use this story to trash not only all of those people and use that story to trash the people in Miami. That's why I don't accept his apology, because he's full of shit. He's apologizing because he got caught. He got caught up in his real feelings about the university, and at the end of the day, he got caught up. That it is what it is, right? The thing is that he used a story that has no real credence to it. Like I said, if it's true, then fuck those people who attacked the band director. But we don't know if it's true or not. We don't know what the hell happened. But he used that to denigrate a university. What the hell does the University of Miami have to do with this person? The only correlation that I can think of is that they're fans. That's it. It has nothing. That's not an indictment on the university, and it's not an indictment on the people. And unfortunately, this is what the national, and his radio show is a national show. And especially in that section of the South, the Alabama, the Tennessees, even certain parts of Florida, that thought process permeates throughout that area about Miami. And like I said, Miami's a unique city. It is what it is. We feed off the hate anyway, but to use that as a way to trash all the people who have nothing to do with that in this area, and to trash the people of the area, not only people who went to school, who've done some amazing things in the community, but also to all the hard workers and all the good people in this city. And for this loser to just go ahead and just try to trash us, and then he wants to apologize. No, he can take that apology and shove it up his ass. Fuck him. Look, I'm not accepting his apology. Mike Ryan can do it all he wants. Obviously, they work for the same company. He probably has a relationship with Paul Finebum. That's cute. That's nice. But Miami fans, if they don't want to apologize, they don't have to fucking apologize. They don't have to accept his apology. Excuse me. They don't have to accept his apology. For what? Why? Because he pretty much just took what he always said about Miami and just took it a step too far, right? That's what trolls do. They're searching for a reaction, and then they go a step too far. And then, at least in his case, since he works for Mickey Mouse, that he has to fucking apologize. You know what I mean? No, he can go fuck himself. Fuck Paul Finebum. Fuck that dude. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Anyway, this is Hoopy 186. I'm out. Peace.